Timothy Walter Burton is an American filmmaker, animator and artist who is best known for his gothic fantasy films such as Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, The Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride. Burton has also worked on blockbuster films such as Batman and Batman Returns and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Burton wasn't fond of his young life in the suburban town of Burbank, California, leaving him to focus on his art. He was seen as odd due to his introverted and shy nature, and he related to characters such as Frankenstein, saying that he was perceived as a monster, but he isn't really, he's just different. Burton had little interest in schoolwork, and he instead started creating his own short films as a teenager. His first short film was called The Island of Dr. Agor, and he later made the film Vincent. He did animation at the Californian Institute of the Arts, creating a short film, The Stalk of the Celery Monster, which impressed Disney's animation team so much they hired him. But he was accused of wasting the company's resources on a film too dark and scary for young audiences, but they later collaborated on the films The Nightmare Before Christmas and Alice in Wonderland. Tim Burton's distinct style is what makes his work both unique and easily identifiable. His work features childlike, exaggerated cartoons, ironic due to the gothic, creepy themes and atmospheres they take place in. Burton's work delves into the German concept of expressionism, which means the overall scenic and production design produce a feeling of dreamlike reality and psychological tension for the viewer. Some of the most unique traits of expressionism are sharply exaggerated backdrops and the use of shadows and silhouettes to create the feeling of tension or dread. These features are easily identifiable in Burton's work, but he also has many more trademarks such as a main character seen as an outcast, pale faces, macabre humour, moonlit nights and the shocking use of red and green.
Pardon my enthusiasm.
I like your enthusiasm.
Burton was heavily inspired by fairy tales, Edgar Allan Poe and Dr. Seuss. We see these influences in his work with the concept of lesson learning, exaggerated cartoons and spooky, dreamy atmospheres. Burton's films have many similar elements to those of fairy tales, but when comparing Burton's films to those of Disney's, the most notable difference is that while Disney glosses over the dark parts of fairy tales, Burton embraces them and reimagines them as his own. Burton's films usually feature recurring stars such as Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp. Depp has been cast in 8 Burton films, including Edward Scissorhands, Corpse Bride, Sweeney Todd and Alice in Wonderland. Helena Bonham Carter has also starred in 8 Burton films and was in a relationship with the filmmaker from 2001 to 2014. They met after Burton cast her in a role in his film Planet of the Apes.
Because the first time you spoke, though...
At all, in life?
To Tim. When Tim...
Oh, yes.
The first phone call.
Yes.
That didn't sound like the beginning of a romance.
Well, for me it was, actually.
Oh.
I was in Australia doing a film. No one saw that one, but I liked it. But anyway, and then he phoned up saying, I'm directing this film, Planet of the Apes. Hi, it's Tim Burton here. It was in the middle of the night, because Australia at the time, but never mind. Cut to the chase. And he said, yeah, don't take this wrong way, but you are the first person I thought of to play a chimpanzee. But for me, I thought, God.
Together, the couple own 3 interconnected homes in London, one for her, one for him, and one for their children to play in with their nanny. Burton's most recent work was directing the 2019 adaptation of Disney's Dumbo. Burton's work created so much of an impact that a word describing his style, Burton-esque, began to be used in the world of film and culture. Burton's career has spanned 16 features and nearly 30 years, enough time to mark him as one of the most unique and influential filmmakers of the last 2 generations.